Communists are gonna communist. Not the most revolutionary of insights, but don't-ish. Yet, nevertheless, it is absolutely true. And the real problem isn't necessarily what the communist bandits are doing, it is how everyone else is going to react to it. And that's what I want to talk about today, as I stumbled across this article in The Guardian, once a respected newspaper, now a communist cumrag. Why the industry should head China's crackdown on video game players, or heed, more correctly. And in many ways, it's kind of like the Kotaku article I already showed you, except the Kotaku article was straight up defense for incredibly authoritarian regulations, defending them, arguing the cause, and justifying them. Because, you know, Xi Jinping's butthole needs a little bit of cleaning every now and then. This article is not that bad, but there is nary a word of condemnation in the entire thing. They don't really go like, okay, this is bad, this is authoritarian overreach, and we shouldn't allow this. No. It talks about how, you know what, maybe something like this could happen here as well. And why? Oh, because video game companies are being too damn mean and making their games too damn fun. Jesus Christ, this idiocy. And this is the issue. China doing China things, and incidentally, if you're unaware, which I hardly know how you could be after having watched the previous two videos, you did watch the two previous videos, right? But short version of the story is China introduced a regulation on how many hours children, anyone under the age of 18, could play video games. They can now only play for 3 hours per week. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they have required the video game producers to put in place systems to ensure that this is happening. One of the solutions is facial recognition, where your smartphone or PC will have to scan your little face and go like, okay, Xi Jinping, I have noted that you are the 18-year-old version of Xi Jinping in this case, ergo you will only get access to Clash of Clans for 1 hour. And once that 1 hour is up, the game goes down. With the exception of holidays, because, you know, some leniency is nice to have, even in communist China. And again, authoritarian as all hell, and let's not even think about the potential abuse that a socialist government could make out of a facial recognition feature built into your smartphone and personal computer. No potential mischief there at all, no. The issue is that the West seems to be fetishizing these ideas and kind of trying to low-key like, oh, you know, this isn't good, but, you know, audience, how do you feel about this? Maybe we could float some of these ideas as well. No, Guardian, no Kotaku, no, we can't. We've already signed off more than enough of our freedoms for considerably stupider reasons, even than this, frankly. And the argument being made in this article, as well as it is literally the Chinese argument. Originally, it started with China saying that they needed to look after children, because this is merely the last in a long line of regulatory actions against video games. And we need to protect the children, you see. Children are becoming addicted to video games, which, incidentally, the whole idea behind video game addiction I consider to be absolute bullshit. Because what is a video game addiction beyond addiction to having fun? Video games are fun. Simple as. Now, many free-to-play games do use certain psychological tricks to try and screw you into spending money. Absolutely, but here's the thing. That is your personal responsibility. And if you truly are a kid, why do you have access to a bloody credit card? Like, if you can't be trusted with a video game, why do you have a credit card or a bank card or anything like that? And all this boils down to is the parents not bothering to look after their own goddamn children. And this is also what's talked about in this article here, where Western parents are looking at their kids playing video games and thinking, oh, darnation, he's spending too many hours on those bloody pixels of his and not doing his homework, and I just don't understand how to deal with that. Beat him. Like, unironically, if you can't control your child to the point of taking away his computer privileges, why do you have a child? Like, you are not a responsible parent, and if your solution to your child playing too much video games is trying to get the state, the government, to control him for you, why the hell have we given you the right to vote? There is a certain level of idiocy where you almost have to consider the Starship Troopers solution, don't you? Christ, like, we have, again, as I've said, we've already signed away so many freedoms for, well, just being afraid of things, being worried about things. All of the powers handed over to the various alphabet letter soup agencies in America for the fear of terrorism, for example. Or over here, oh god, you will not believe some of the absolute draconian insanity we have in Norway. We have, not only, like, our tax registry is open. Anyone can go and look up your taxes. Now, back in the day, you could actually do this on the internet. You could just type in a name and an address, and voila, there you go, the tax information of your neighbors. Now, it's merely publicly available if you go down to the local town hall and ask for it. Already that's insane, and here's even worse. You can request to have the internet history of someone printed out and given to you. Although, to be fair, the person who has their internet history spied upon will be given a message of this later, and that could... The whole thing is so absolutely ridiculous. I believe there was a lawsuit over this because it's insane, but god... We have signed over a lot of freedoms. We should not be signing over more freedoms because of bloody video games. Like, holy hell. Now, here's the thing too. Okay. Let's take the argument about free-to-play games, right? Let's entertain for a second the possibility, and that's a reasonable enough one as well, that a very young child, and we're not talking about 16, 17, 18 here, like, if you can't control your spending habits at that point, that is honestly the parents' goddamn fault, I think, at that point. But a young child, 6, 7, 8, etc., plays a free-to-play game, and the worst part is, my cousin's children, they do this, they would never click on anything without their parents' express permission. In fact, I had one of them playing on my computer when they were over here for summer vacation, and I'd loaded up some, nice child-friendly games for them, like Doom and Quake. They love that shit. And they were hesitant to even pick stuff up on the screen because their parents had hammered into them, you don't click on random stuff in an application. It's genuinely not that bloody difficult, but anyways, besides the point, let's say that certain abusive things like loot boxes, for example, or not giving sufficient information, or not having particular good control on their monetization features, like the whole one-click monetization on the Google App Store, for example, where once the card is registered, you just click the button and there you go. You don't have to check out, you don't have to confirm or anything, it's just the money is gone, stuff like that. We can have a discussion about that. We can have a discussion about certain regulations on the video game industry by and large, absolutely, because it is one of the least regulated industries pretty much ever since we invented regulations. Now, that opens up a whole other box of worms, of course, like loot boxes. Are they gambling? I don't know if I'd call it gambling, because gambling has a very specific series of connotations associated with it. If anything, I do think we need to come up with a new term to aptly describe loot boxes. Now, could they be a thing that targets weak individuals? Absolutely. Should there be more warnings on it? Probably. Should there perhaps even be a system to, if you spend over a certain amount, maybe you can, when you get into the game, you have a little tick boxes which say I would only like to spend so and so much, or maybe even parental options and stuff like that. Sure, we can have that discussion, but we haven't had that one. We've leapt to, maybe China has a point in this. And again, China is a ridiculously authoritarian regime. Just to illustrate this as well, China now purging effeminate men from Chinese culture. that is almost worthy of doing like a full video on in and of itself, if for no other reason, just to laugh at it. Because, good God. I mean, I'm using it here as an example of complete authoritarian idiocy. I mean, I don't care how sissified people are on the internet. You, like, so bloody what? Like, holy shit, when you are actually at the point, as a government, that you are looking at some... what even is that I don't even know. You're looking at this, and you're thinking to yourself, yes, this is a real societal problem. We should ban it. How deep down the ban hole have you gotten at that point? And to be fair, although it is difficult to be fair to this, apparently there's a whole subculture around this where these idols will be like, oh, you know, vote for me, donate for me, and these kind of competition style things where their names will rise on rankings due to donations and likes and stuff like that, and people will send them ridiculous amount of money, and basically it's ethos simping, but since it's Asia, it's feminine looking boys instead. Again, and hell, here's the thing, I'm not against regulations. I am not. I think we do need regulations, particularly on a lot of digital media, which has escaped almost all of the, well, frankly, just straight up common sense regulation. Like the fact that PayPal can act like a bank, even giving loans, yet have none of the regulations. They can simply just close your account down and take your money and hold it indefinitely. Jesus Christ, no! That should be a crime. It's not even legislation, that should be illegal, goddammit. But again, it starts out, maybe we should do this. And then, before you know it, as you're like, okay, we can talk about that, before you know it, your femboy traps are the next victim on the chopping block. God. Damn it, China. Anywho, until next time, I've been Art. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day. And don't watch too much K-pop. That will rot your brain.